Welcome to Uncanny X-Minutes, where we bring you the comics behind the movies. I'm Producer James.
And I'm Stasia.
And we're watching X-Men Days of Future Past, minutes 110 to 120.
James, would you like to know what happens?
Oh boy, do I.
So, all the remaining future X-Men? Dead. Professor X talks Mystique out of killing Trask, and Wolverine wakes up in a new timeline.
Mystique didn't kill Trask. Woo!
That honestly is a separate special line.
Right.
She doesn't kill somebody.
It's Professor X talks her out of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
she doesn't.
yeah.
So we did it! Yay!
Congrats.
It happened. Wolverine was the only one who didn't die in the future. I should say that. I think, and Kitty.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I think, died.
Everyone's
And
gone.
like the first one in this 10 minutes was Blink.
Yeah, so as usual, we're going to talk about the vague person who's standing in the background of this scene, and I'm okay with that.
No, she gets a full. So she almost holds her own in this one, which which is great. I mean, up to this point, she is a utility character for sure. But everyone else has been slain, and she's trying to one off. Like she's just like opening portals, so basically Sentinels hit each other. It's great, but then they all like skewer her in all different ways. I will say, in preparation for this episode, I was watching the 10 minutes with my daughter, who I realized hasn't seen all the other minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Saw Sunspot and asked if it was for the Fantastic Four. She thought it was Human Torch. I went, nope, that's not who that is.
I get why you were confused, though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then, because it doesn't look like Sunspot in the comics.
No.
Which we'll get to in New Mutants.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. And her other comment was that young Professor X, had too much hair.
I agree with her.
We all agree with you. We all agree with you. You don't remember Professor X canonically lost his hair when he was young.
Very young, yes.
So, no actual reason. I think it was the radiation, when they used to say that like all mutants were created from radiation. I think it was due to that. If you want my opinion. They just say he lost his hair.
I have already accepted the fact that the next Professor X that we get will also not be bald.
The MCU, the next, the 199999 one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he might not be. We don't know.
He's not going to be bald.
This is, in all fairness, this is pre-Doomsday.
Yes.
We're just starting to get casting information for the MCU X-Men. So, grain of salt to anything we say.
Yeah, this is.
In the future.
I have no inside knowledge whatsoever,
Nope.
except for my experience with Hollywood interpreting my favorite comic books.
Devil's advocate, they have been doing better with comic accurate characters.
That's true.
Gambit, for example, looked like Gambit.
He was a little big.
I know.
He was a little big.
Hey. He looked like Gambit.
He did.
But we're also doing a bit.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
It was part of a bit, which
it
I
was
liked.
part of a bit, but he had a Gambit suit on.
He did. It was very cool, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Gambit should have a slender face.
Which
Which is funny because a young Channing Tatum did have at one point.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was as charismatic at the time. He's more fun now than he was back in his She's the Man days.
I really want to stand up, and I really think Channing Tatum could have been funny, but he just wasn't cast that way. I think honestly he's been funny and interesting, but he just was not getting those parts, which is totally fair. That's sometimes what happens.
Yep. Anyway, let's talk Blink.
Yeah.
Blink.
Clarice Ferguson, which this is another one of those interesting, when you go to look her up, there are multiples. Mm-hmm. And there's multiples of a lot of characters. The weird thing with Blink specifically is that her 616 version is the least popular version. Yes. Obviously, the most popular version is the one from Age of Apocalypse. The only thing that could potentially replace somebody's 616 version, really.
The 295 version.
295, thank you.
Yeah. So I would say let's go over the more popular version, because is what people, if somebody were like, go read a Blink comic, you wouldn't say go to what do I have here? Uncanny X-Men number 317.
Yeah.
That's not what you would tell someone.
That's true.
You would
100%.
say go read Age of Apocalypse or go read Exiles.
Yeah. So I will jump in and talk about Age of Apocalypse Blink, because that
my experience with Blink is truly like only Age of Apocalypse, really. 100%. Like, I clearly must have read these other issues at some point.
And we'll get into why why you don't remember her.
But I didn't.
No, and you shouldn't. I didn't either. Okay?
And I was like,
I forgot.
When I was like looking up her first appearances and going through the issues, I was like, oh, this is earlier than I thought.
Yeah. Yep.
And basically, Age of Apocalypse is... she is one of the X-Men with Magneto. So this is...
Yeah, so in Age of Apocalypse, Magneto is the leader of the X-Men.
Yes.
And just to, the elevator pitch of Age of Apocalypse, Legion goes back in time, kills Professor X, oopsie doodle, and it creates a whole different timeline called the Age of Apocalypse, where Apocalypse basically is winning.
Yeah. He's won, I would say.
He's won North. He was won America.
Yes.
He's trying to spread across the world, so he is winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, Magneto is the leader of the X-Men. Sabretooth's a good guy.
Yes.
And Blink is part of his crew.
100%. This is also the timeline where you have the relationship between Rogue and Magneto. They have a son, Charles, etc. So yeah, it's a very beloved run. Obviously,
Cyclops is a bad guy. Wolverine's with Jean Grey.
Yes.
That we've gone over all this, but just in case,
a little refresher.
It's the one that all of us, like, once it happened, all of the X-Men books stopped.
Yeah.
And Age of Apocalypse just started out of nowhere, and it didn't. No previously on, no anything. Just like it was just happening.
Yeah, it was very
Love
cool.
it. What a ballsy way to go.
I honestly really admire them doing that.
They tried it with Age of Revelation.
It wasn't as
recently,
good.
And it did not land because it also was like, instead of an event happened and all the books changed over, it was like an event was starting to happen and we fast forwarded.
Yeah.
Like 10 years or whatever. And that doesn't work as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't care for it.
I also was like...
I liked parts of it. But for overall, as in a big old event, it like stopped everything I was reading. And I felt like I had to read new books.
I would be very curious to hear from anybody who was like collecting comics at the time and actively reading as Age of Apocalypse was coming out. Because like, in all fairness... I obviously was born after this, or not born after, but like I was reading after it was like it already happened years and years by the time I got to it. So like, I guess my question is, were you annoyed? Like I was annoyed during this recent run where I was like, I was actually really enjoying these books that I was in the middle of reading, and now I'm reading something that I don't like as much. Did you feel that way, and did it win you over later? I'm curious.
For me, I wasn't actively reading the books. I did have an active subscription to Wizard.
Okay.
When this was happening.
Okay.
And I remember it coming out and being like, I was intrigued for sure. I was like, what is going on here? Why does Cyclops look different? Why does Wolverine look different? But like, I don't think there was a comic book in my shop in my town. I was such a small town. Mm-hmm. It was like, books I could pick up at the grocery store.
Yeah.
That's where I landed. So
you were used to getting things out of order.
Absolutely. I just got random issues here and there, but that was, I remember getting those like issues of the magazine and being like, and reading and being like, well, this is very interesting, but like never actually reading it until way later.
Interesting. See, I've been spoiled, and so like I actually get really annoyed when I feel like I've missed something. I'm like, what did I miss? And like try to anyway. In all case, back to Blink.
You had an adult that read them with you. I had nobody. I had me.
Blink. Talk about her power set. She's a teleporter.
Yeah. If we're talking AOA and later, like the 295 version, mm-hmm. she specifically teleports with like daggers.
Yes.
They look like crystal daggers almost.
Yeah.
Like
she can like stab people.
Yeah, like almost like the character Dagger has, mm-hmm. but they're pink, and when she throws them, they create a portal.
Yes. I think I'm interested. When we go back to the other version of Blink, I'm curious. I'm not sure if they have to be daggers.
No, they don't.
But that is how she uses it.
I think they describe it as a way of her to focus her power.
To focus on it,
And 616, I think, shows you why that's the case.
Yes.
Is what I'll say.
Yeah, for sure.
So in the movie, that is what we have. We have
daggers.
AOA Blink with the daggers,
which is what everybody remembers. So that is like not really surprising.
If you're gonna do one, that's the cooler one to do.
Yeah, I also want to talk about how she looks, because she has like her eyes are like.
There's no pupils.
Yeah, they're all white, and she also has like these. She's got a hot pink aesthetic, and like she kind of has these tattoos on her face that are like arrows. And
are they tattoos? They're markings.
They're
for
markings
sure.
for sure. Like I describe them as tattoos, but it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because they don't go to it. No, it don't matter.
Yeah,
but they look great.
But they look very cool.
And once again, very comic accurate Blink, I would say. And like for what they were doing, I knew who she was.
It's
no
obvious.
Question.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
She's very distinctive.
Very distinct.
Which I think is cool, because sometimes you're like, which brown-haired guy is that? Like,
especially in like if an artist doesn't have a distinct enough drawing style, that can be a problem. If you're just casting actors to do things, sometimes is that supposed to be someone?
I like to call it the Alex Summers problem. Where him and Multiple Man and some people can sometimes look very similar.
I mean, sometimes Iceman and Angel look the same in old comics too.
Yeah, absolutely. But basically, Blink is she is working with Magneto. She's an X-Men. Her like the history that they kind of. This is not in exact order. This is like in chronological order. So she was originally living in the center that was like controlled by Sugar Man, who we talked briefly about when we talked about Ilyana Rasputin. She was moved to the Pens and then was moved to Dark Beast's lab. The Pens at the time were managed by Sinister. So in the backstory to Blink in the Age of Apocalypse, she was like experimented on by Sugarman, Sinister, and Dark Beast. Brutal.
Having a great time.
That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough, buddy. Ooh. Like that like it was a hard time. She is saved by Sabretooth.
Who is a good guy. We've never talked about AOA Sabretooth, I think, but he is like a father figure to her.
Yes. And like heavily weighted.
Yeah.
I would argue that this kind of has consistently remained true. Weirdly, Blink has been tied to Sabretooth a lot.
Yeah.
Because of like the experience with AOA and Exiles, which I will get into briefly. He's like a major plot point there. But like even the 616 version of Sabretooth, there are some crossover there between Blink and him. He is basically becomes her dad, and you get like a really cute, like, I don't know, kind of like heartbreaking thing. I would also say she has a couple of romances, which I would like to bring up.
Sure.
Do you know about her romance with Annihilus?
Yes.
Okay.
I have read that one.
Okay.
Because you don't know it's Annihilus in all fairness.
You do not. Not until the end, really.
If I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is supposed to be like after AOA, the Age of Apocalypse has collapsed. Mm-hmm. And she's sort of in this like nebulous space. I forget is it the negative zone?
She isn't. So it's actually, from my understanding, I don't think Age of Apocalypse has collapsed yet, though that may have been retconned. So like,
who knows,
caveat.
Right?
But like, she returns back to Sabretooth and them at the end of this like negative zone foray.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like quite over, because we'll get into what happens at the end of Age of Apocalypse when it does collapse. But in any case,
but they have she finds a guy and they have a little bit of a
romance.
A dalliance.
Turns out
he turns into a nihilist
the whole time.
And if you don't know who Nihilus is, I'm not going to go into him. He's some like cosmic nonsense.
Space Emperor.
It's cosmic nonsense that's usually like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing and not so much an X-Men thing.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think it's worth just noting that like the reason that they pull her in is because he's been overthrown and they're like freedom fighters, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And during this period of time, she has lost her memories. So she doesn't know about the Age of Apocalypse. She doesn't know what's happening. So it's almost like a weird third Blink like side story. I think this is in her independent run, or either that one or Tales from the Age of Apocalypse also. But in any case.
So that's the Blink self-titled like mini, right?
Yes, the Blink mini, yeah. I would also say her other romance happens after the end of Age of Apocalypse. The other romance that I think is important, caveat. So at the end of the Age of Apocalypse, we talked about this very briefly. There is Mcron crystal nonsense happening at the end of Age of Apocalypse.
Sure.
That's kind of like...
I mean, that's how it ends.
Exactly.
Is they have to use an Mcron crystal.
Right, to fix the timeline. Yeah. They've convinced Magneto... via Bishop, we talked about this, like that this is the wrong timeline. Professor Xavier should have been alive, blah, 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 blah. She, along with Dark Beast and Sugarman and some other people, which will come out later, which felt like they more came out of the woodwork as time went on. She fell through the cracks, the breaking, as the realities were merging back together. She falls through. And she ends up falling into this non-dimensional space, the space outside of time and space or whatever, with a guy named the Time Broker. This is the run that I have talked about a million times before. It's the original Exiles run. It is 100 issues. 100.
Solid.
It's
a solid run.
They did the whole thing, and then there's a second run, and then there's a third run. Not as long.
No,
but no. They did.
But she's
thing.
important for that run.
For most of the run.
Yeah.
She's not in every issue.
No.
But I think that...
I mean, it's starting off. Like, there's a whole thing where she has a device called the Talus that it quantum leaps them from place to place. If you've ever watched that show, it is literally the same thing where they go into another timeline. They got to fix it. They don't quite know what, but the Talus keeps giving her information, and they use her blink powers in order to leap.
Yeah. I will say, like Quantum Leap, to be honest, much of what happens in Exiles is irrelevant.
But it's fun.
It is. 100%. I actually think Exiles is a really fun run. It does not really need anything else. It truly stands alone.
If you know what... Because sometimes they're revisiting events, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if you don't know what it is, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's like good what ifs.
It really feels like what ifs, but just like with these characters that you liked from Age of Apocalypse that are no longer in the 616 because they weren't there. Yeah. But if you're interested, we can still explore some things with that.
And this is back when we didn't want to throw everyone in the 616.
Right. So.
And they did visit the 616.
They did a couple times,
fun.
Actually.
But it's not all the time.
Right. And you just get some like very cool alternate universe.
I mean, this is where you get a good morph.
Yes.
Too. Well, morph was in Age of Apocalypse too.
Yes.
But I don't think was it the same? I don't think it was the same morph.
No, I think it was a different one.
Which is what a lot of it did. Like I think this is where we were talking about how Sunfire was actually a woman. It's like Sunfire's sister is actually Sunfire,
and then I would say
Nightcrawler's daughter's in there.
Yeah, she's Nocturne.
Yeah,
she's like best friends with Blink. Like basically, how this is organized is that there is a crew that is like fixing timelines, and who that crew is shifts over time.
Yeah, and because people actually die.
Yes.
There's actual stakes in this book, which is also why it's a good what if.
Right, because at the end of the day, most of the people in the book are not the original versions of these characters. There are alternate universe versions of these characters.
But you care about them.
Yes, because there's 100 issues.
Like, you actually get to sit with these characters for a while, and then one dies, and you're like, wow, that actually meant something.
Yeah, and that kind
but
of
But it doesn't ruin the 616.
Right. Like, you're not going to get rid of Nightcrawler forever, right?
Right, but if Nocturne dies, it's like, wow, she's been here for like 15, 20 issues, and like, I've loved her. She's great.
Yeah.
Now she's not there anymore. Mm-hmm. This is all hypothetical. I'm not blowing anything. No. Just saying, for example.
That kind of thing.
I
am going to spoil some things.
Sure.
So I will say.
But that's why I like Exiles.
Yeah. Morph in this run is different. At least the first morph that shows up. It is not the same morph from Age of Apocalypse. So that's kind of how they
mostly because they don't know who each other is would be the biggest difference.
Yeah, they don't. And it's also like some people have different personalities. Like some people are more villainous, some people are not.
Isn't there a Warpath who was like a horseman of apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he doesn't really look like Warpath. He looks a little distorted.
Yes.
It's interesting.
It is very interesting. I also like she does run into her Sabretooth though.
Yes.
And so they build on that relationship, that that kind of like familial parental figure, and they kind of take it away from her pretty quickly because they like leave Sabretooth to be there to defend like this kid that they were supposed to kill to fix the timeline. They didn't or whatever. Because to bring it back, her personality traits, I would say Blink is very outside of brainwashing, mind control, these other things, which I'm sure will come up. Generally, very sweet.
Yep.
Very anti-killing people.
Yeah.
She is very much like, what if we didn't fight? What if we didn't kill people? What if we could find a different way to solve this problem?
I mean, can you imagine being in Age of Apocalypse and then all of a sudden like switching to a timeline where it's like, hey, it's kind of nice here.
Maybe
we don't need violence.
Also kind of surprised by that too. Like, I just like, they're definitely saying something about it. I'm not sure that it totally landed with me in terms of like really interpreting why, because sometimes she's just so sweet it's saccharine. But I'm also a lot older.
Yeah.
As I read these books, and so maybe a little jaded, and maybe that's on me.
And she's supposed to be kind of young.
Yes.
So that makes that can make a difference.
Right. And then the other important character in the Exiles run is her relationship, which I said we'd get back to, with Mimic.
Yes.
Who we've talked about previously.
Yeah,
also.
the one of the Silver Age bad guys who wasn't a mutant, but I believe he is in Exiles. I think his variant is. Where in the original books, he started off by just having any powers of anybody near him. Mm-hmm. And then eventually, I believe, just had the O5 powers.
He did, yes.
But this guy can hold on to 5 powers at a time, I believe, is his deal.
That is correct.
So
he's
sometimes
from Earth 12.
but he can. But if he's trying to gain a new power, it has to be somebody near him. Mm-hmm. But then he has to get rid of one of his other powers. Mm-hmm. So that makes it fun.
Trying to decide
he's
how you're going to
do
this. Yes, absolutely. I think he's very cool. I think that, like, the Mimic stuff is really interesting.
He's probably the most interesting Mimic. I mean, I don't know a ton of 616 Mimic past Silver Age.
Yeah.
But, like, I think of Exiles Mimic when I think of Mimic.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, like, we're never gonna see him again, I don't think.
No, probably
because
not.
He's Earth 12. He's not a 616. So, like, Krakoa can't even bring this guy back. Like, this is a totally different thing. But I do feel like it was just, like, a really interesting, like, over the 100 issues, this relationship develops. And because it's so long, slowly, and you get to see them, like, really go through it together.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
Yeah.
I think, like, I don't know what else to compare it to, because sometimes it's hard for me to, like, recommend Exiles and to, like, but if you want to read about Blink, you should just read Exiles.
Oh yeah, Exiles would be the thing I would suggest.
Read the little Age of Apocalypse. First of all, you should have read Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse is his own good thing.
That you should have read that.
Yeah.
So that's, like, I don't even feel like that should come in here, that you should have read it
That's one
already.
of those big uns.
Yeah. But then, like, if you like Blink, though, just read Exiles. Like, that's the original run of Exiles is really good, and it's, like, really, like, it sets up the character into the future, unfortunately, of which there's not that much after it. You see it as I'm slowing down here, because there are 2 other Exiles runs. One of them is very recent, like is it post Krakoa or is it right before?
Before, I think.
I think it's right before. But, like,
yeah, I think it's right before.
Those runs also have her just jumping through time, continuing to do the exile things. So unfortunately, I think, like, her character development kind of, like, she doesn't show up in the X-Men comic books as much. Let's say that. She's not with the main team.
Yeah.
She's not really doing she's not hanging out with the Avengers. That's not really what's happening.
No. I mean, because there is a 616 Blink is the problem.
Let's talk about the 616 Blink.
So the 616 Blink shows up in a so have we ever talked about the Phalanx?
Very, very briefly. We talked about the
Warlock, Warlock's people, the Technarchy,
the TO virus.
the phalanx is like the
humans who are infected with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're trying to go after the next generation of mutants, and she is one of them. Mm-hmm. And the rest are Generation X. The story is called Generation Next, but then afterwards, it's Generation X. Anyway, she is one of them. Her powers are different a little bit. She's still a teleporter, but it's like she like touches things and they sort of separate in a bunch of pieces.
They
like the
slice.
the way they draw it, it looks like they slice a bunch of pieces apart. And she is scared. She's not an X-Man, but like she's almost trying to get recruited by them because they're going after her, and basically she ends up sacrificing herself for everyone by taking out the phalanx, and it takes her out as well. But the way the art is drawn, it's like kind of strange to be like, she did. She did.
Because it's like the whole ship too. It's not just the
it's
people.
like a huge version.
Huge
so when we say in Exiles she uses the daggers, it's like I think they make her power seem like if she doesn't have control, it goes overboard. Mm-hmm. She doesn't come back again really until Necrotia.
Yes.
Woof McGoof, that's a long time.
It is. Like, that's 94.
Was it 371 I said was her first appearance?
317.
317.
Though it depends. Uh-huh. So I was digging some stuff up.
Dig some stuff up.
And potentially Uncanny X-Men number 36 may have come out a month before, and she is technically in the background of that one. But
oh, okay. Well,
we're talking September, October of 1994. Yeah,
because then X-Men number 37 is the next one in the Phalanx Covenant is the title of the.
You know me. I'm just finding little inconsistencies.
It's cool. So in Necrotia, she is actually one of Celine's like main recruits, essentially. Like she brings back from the dead. And
sorry, I just want to correct that. I said Uncanny X-Men. No, what I meant to say is X-Men flat. Adjective.
Adjectiveless X-Men number 36 is what you were saying. Yeah. She's one of Celine's like main bad guys.
Yeah.
And this is what you were kind of saying before, where she's sort of brainwashed like evil Blink. So she's their teleporter. But she's still doing the like sliced version of Blink, not the dagger version of Blink. And we're talking the Clayton Craig like gross art that like everything is real dark and everyone looks sickly and pale and thin. So like she is like in black cat suits. She's not in she's usually wearing like a fun green number that like it's fine. She doesn't look like Blink for the most part. But after Necrotia ends, she's still alive. And she's kicking around the 616. And the next time we see her is not until New Mutants for the most part during the Regenesis era that they were doing. So we're talking 34, 35, 36. She's saving people. Like she's basically doing penance for what Necrotia did. And then after that, they just tried making her one of the New Mutants is what it kind of felt like.
Yeah, but it didn't really work.
It didn't.
Like, I don't know why.
They tried I think they were like, oh, we're going to make her a little like brooding a little bit. And then that didn't work. And then they brought her back as fun. And like she just kept filling utility. Like it felt like all of a sudden she's the New Mutants' best friend. It's like, when have you ever talked to them? Like I felt bad because it's like the real crew and Blink.
Yeah.
And you're like, weird. Why personally, I'm surprised they didn't put her in Generation X.
Yeah.
But I think at the time we weren't using Skin. We weren't using Husk like that. Husk was at the school, I think. The Jean Grey school.
She goes to the Jean Grey
school. She does, but like not for very long.
No, she
comes
barely
right back to the New Mutants.
They had a whole storyline where she has like a little couple issues with Valkyrie.
Yeah.
With Danny Moonstar, who was not going by Valkyrie at this time. No, I don't know why I called her that. Well,
it took me a second to go. Did she? Oh yes, Danny. Yeah,
Danny Moonstar.
Yeah.
But like she doesn't go with Cyclops. They put her at the Jean Grey school.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, well, that's wrong. Like if
Karma and Cannonball were there.
Yes.
But we didn't see that.
Right.
She doesn't interact with them. She just immediately goes back because like the New Mutants had moved out of Utopia and were in a house. They were in like a 2-flat. And like she's hanging out with them and it's fine. Because they brought her back for one issue where she they've determined Warlock has to do like a defrag essentially, so he's gonna be out for a couple days.
Okay.
And she goes, oh, it means because it like coincides with he has to do it like every couple of years or something like that. So it started when he came to Earth. So she goes, oh, it's his birthday, so we need to go party. So she teleports them to Madripoor, and there's basically a Chinese New Year going on, but they do it late. I don't know. So she leads the whole. It's a nice issue because it's one of those that's like sort of a one-off that ends up showing a lot of the drama that's going on currently in the New Mutants, but she's not a part of it.
Sure.
She's the vehicle
to get them there,
which is fun, but she's not.
No
she's
emotional investment.
No.
Yeah.
And then she ends up hanging out with them for a bit later, but still no emotional investment.
Yeah.
So she's kicking around, but she's utility right now. So like, kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and the newest Exile run that I read, she shows up, but like it's like all of the blinks across all the times, and it's not really like about her. It's a very weird character because you have two versions of them.
Yeah.
And one is clearly much more popular than the other.
Yes.
And there is really no rhyme or reason as to why, except for the stories that they've been put in. Truly.
Well, I would say it's because, she had died. So they're like, oh, we're doing Age of Apocalypse. Well, we can bring her back.
Yeah.
We didn't get to use her. Or like, whoever was writing it was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. Let's use her. And then they gave her, it's like, this is going to be weird. You're going to get it though. It's like when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, okay? And you're creating a new character. And when you're doing a session 0, the most interesting thing you can do is have a relationship with another player.
Yeah.
Have some sort of connection with another player at the table. It will lead to interesting drama, or at least like give you something to attach to. Blink doesn't have anything if you don't have that AOA Sabretooth that you gave her.
Yeah.
Other than that, she's just there. She's just kind of floating.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. It's weird to have 2 Blinks, and one of them is more popular, one of them is not.
And they're both here.
And they're both, well, is the 29 whatever? 295?
Yeah, apparently she was floating around.
She still
theoretically could have been in Krakoa.
The other one was in Krakoa.
They both could have been.
The 616 is it was in like Way of X and was in Sword.
Yeah, I don't think that they've done much, but like they haven't killed her off.
If you want a good Blink story, just read Exiles.
Yeah.
Or Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, do that.
But
first.
if you want just Blink, Exiles, but Age of Apocalypse is really good too.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's it for Blink.
Yeah.
I'm Producer James.
And I'm Stasia.
And we'll see you for the next 10.